Well, this one's going to be the raw footage. That's why they come to the... Well, we're going to do minor editing, but, that's why they come to the Citrus Brothers, the raw footage.
Hey everyone, Peter here with the CitrusBros, and today I'm joined by...
Hey, what's up guys? It's Captain Riptide. I'm going to be doing a smooth, calm voice, because right now we're doing our first episode of the Lemon Podcast.
Yep, so the Lemon Podcast is just going to be, us talking about different topics, different types of things, while cleaning stuff up in Visera Cleanup Detail. If you guys haven't played this game, it might sound like a bad idea, but it's actually a good game once you get into it.
I disagree, but we need something in the background, so...
Yeah, actually, one of the first times we played this, I believe your mom walked in and she's like, "You're not gonna clean in real life, but yet you're gonna clean in a video game."
Pretty much, and I just cleaned my apartment too, so I'm like doing double duty right now.
Alright, so this is the bucket dispenser, and what's the button to get buckets? I forgot how to play this game.
Click 2, and then you have your hands, and then you can pick stuff up.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, you got buckets out of here, and the buckets. Where'd you go?
I'm taking the bucket to the end. We're just gonna start on one end and move our way down.
So yeah, the buckets is what you use for the mop, and then there's also the trash that you need, like little trash bins.
Yeah, I got it on my screen right here, so you can throw like limbs inside.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, so I'm actually drinking. I made some coffee. It's called Lavazza or Lavazza coffee. Very good. If you guys see that your superstore, go ahead and grab some of that. It's nice, relaxing coffee with a little bit of vanilla. See, I'm actually a hipster now because I use almond milk vanilla creamer.
So you suck dick now is what you're trying to tell me.
Basically, yes. That's my side job because YouTube just doesn't pay the bills.
Yo, where's the incinerator?
Furnace, yeah. I think.
Oh, it's over here.
Yeah. So then that's your god and savior. You gotta. Can you crouch in this game? You gotta pray to it. So, because this will just get everything done in this game. So, Marion, what do you like for breakfast? What's your preferred breakfast food?
Yeah, so this is our first podcast topic. So, yes, breakfast. I hate breakfast. I prefer not to eat it. I am one of the 1% that thinks that breakfast is the worst meal of the day, and I'd rather eat anything else instead of breakfast.
Well, let's see, what I do is I just eat breakfast at like 2 p.m. So then it's technically lunch, and you get a better food option.
Ninja, stop tracking footprints over here.
Oh.
Watch where you're stepping.
I just put a blood splatter, but we gotta get all the body parts first. There we go.
And how about you, co-host Peter? What is your favorite breakfast item?
So I actually just bought some nice buns from those square buns that have flour on top of them, the fancy ones.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I got those at Costco, and I'm just gonna make some sandwiches out of it. So if you guys want a quick sandwich, what you do is you get that brie cheese, the one that literally smells like jizz. You don't want to get the triple cream. You get have you ever had that cheese?
Dude, I dislike brie cheese because I'm kind of I'm not really a picky eater, but for some reason cheese is something I'm kind of particular about, and it's just a little too not solid, you know what I mean? It's really mushy. It's like a spread, not even a cheese.
I know, but it's good. So you get that, you toast the buns a little bit, and then you put the cheese on it. It'll just melt it just enough. And then what you do is you get a really nice salami, preferably if you can, get spiced salami. Put that on there, a little bit. So let's see, cheese salami, a little bit of butter. And then I also do some mayonnaise, mustard on top. And there you go. You got sandwiches with a cup of coffee or tea.
Yeah, my breakfast at work is just a cup of coffee. Just something to get the metabolism going. I'm going to throw this stuff away and I'll get us a new bin.
I guess I'll follow you with this body, so I'll just dump it here, actually. Do you drink black coffee, or you got creamer in it, or what?
Black coffee. That way you got 0 calories.
See, it's you don't get... Well, I think creamer only adds 50 calories. Sure.
I know, but 50 compared to 0, that's infinite percent more.
Yeah, but do you want to be sad doing it, or do you actually want to enjoy your meal?
Well, I actually enjoy coffee, and it's probably like back in the day when I was sailing, like the union mandated coffee break. So you drink coffee for breakfast, you'd have a coffee break at 10, you drink coffee at lunch, and you had another coffee break at 3 p.m. So like, oof, I tracked some blood. Oh god damn it, Peter.
Epic fail #1 of the game.
Yeah, start that counter.
But jumping on the topic of coffee, so you know what I get at McDonald's, like just probably listening to this would give you diabetes. You get you get a large coffee, especially when they do dollar any size, and then you get 4 sugar, 2 cream, and 2 milk. And see, the thing is, I hate the taste of coffee. Unlike you, like I hate the bitter taste of coffee. If I just drink it, first of all, it would make you shit like crazy. Yeah, so I can't do coffee, so I need it to be sweet. Like, I need it to be like a cappuccino. And then, so I actually I started liking coffee, because I never did. And then when I lived in Montenegro, remember how we had the Deutsch?
Yeah, so in Montenegro, there's this drink, which is just like, it's like a reverse latte or something. It's, a reverse cappuccino. There's like a shot of espresso, and then they put the foam milk on top. And it was brought in by a German, and if anyone knows in German, the name for German is Deutsch. So that's what they call the drink. They named it after the German guy that brought it into Montenegro.
And he sold it for 1 Deutschmark, because when the Yugoslavia collapsed, like their currency went to trash, and they were using Deutschmarks like as the currency. So he was selling it for 1. But that actually, that got me started on coffee, and that's kind of why I like it sweet. But then also, do you remember, coffee has no effect on me, and do you remember when we had liquid caffeine?
Oh yeah, so when we were in high school, we ran a mafia, basically, a candy bar mafia, and one of the products we sold was a shot of caffeine. It was like extracted caffeine, a completely bitter drink, and people would just pay us to get a shot of it. And we like pour it in the cup, and they take a shot of the cup, sorry, the lid. It's like a bottle lid. We pour it in the bottle lid, and they pay for that.
So it was basically, the bitter taste of coffee. That's all it is. It's all pure caffeine. And if you had 1 ounce, which is the size of a 5-hour energy bottle, if you have that much of liquid caffeine, you would have enough energy for, I believe, like a day and a half. On top of that, it also, if you drank about a water bottle full, which is like 16 ounces, you would die. But my theory is, you're going to have so much caffeine running through your body, you're going to die from the caffeine overdose, but the caffeine's going to keep you alive, so you're going to be a zombie. And then you're going to die again.
Man, do you remember, so with our candy bar mafia, he used to hire people to work for his candy bar mafia. And one time this kid, my sister was working for him, and he stole a monster from her. So we got like a bunch of people together, found him at lunch one day, like literally surrounded the table, and we're like, you just go up to him and you're like, yo, just pay me back so I don't have to beat your ass.
Yeah, this was over $3.
It was over $3, and we got like a whole bunch of people in on it. Connections.
So what about you, Marian? You got any interesting hot topics?
Yeah, so I wanted to bring up, Peter, so as you know, I'm a car guy, and keep your eye out on the channel, audience. I'm gonna try to be making some Project Car 2 videos and My Summer Car videos. So try to diversify ourselves a bit. But I'm a bit of a car guy, and it's all because I bought a cheap sports car, took it to the racetrack, and suddenly I loved everything about it. And anyone who tries to take away the fun of driving pisses me off. And one of those is Mr. Elon Musk, who is inventing self-driving cars. Now, I'll give my opinion on the matter real quick. I actually have nothing against self-driving cars. I think that the more idiots we remove off the road, the better, more enjoyable for people who actually are smart enough to drive. But my worry, and what I wanted to discuss is, Peter, do you think that the advent of self-driving cars will bring on more government regulation to make it illegal to own a real car that you drive yourself to prevent accidents and increase road safety?
Well, See, not right away. Definitely. I just left this body part.
It came out of the machine, dude.
Definitely in 100 years, I think it will do it. Because see, the main problem, and I remember, self-driving cars are not new. They were around for, I know, they've probably been around for like at least a decade, if not more. Because back in high school, we watched a video and we talked about self-driving cars and like even cars for blind people. So the main thing is why they're not on the road, just like with any technology, is first of all, it's either too expensive. So back in the day, if you guys don't know, like all the beeping that the cars, the big trucks had and all the reverse cameras, that was super expensive. So that's why we didn't see it. But now it's dirt cheap and like every car has it.
They also have it because of law. The government made it a requirement for cars built after a certain year to have a backup cam.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that's why every car has it now. I didn't know that, but it's legitimately a law.
That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, same thing with self-driving cars is, it's too expensive. But the other main problem, I mean, it is getting cheaper now because I think the five big players, you got Tesla, Honda.
I think Volvo's even investing in it these days.
Who?
Volvo.
Yeah, I was gonna say Volvo, Toyota, but yeah, you got a couple big players there. The other thing that you have is that, if it gets in an accident, who's gonna get sued? And of course,
and I think that's what they're waiting for. They're waiting for the government to tell them how many losses is acceptable, and then once that's in writing, they can build the system to that tolerance, and insurance companies know what to charge.
Well, yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, like, of course, when you get in an accident, but yeah, if there's an accident, people definitely want to sue the company because the company has millions, most likely billions of dollars it can go after.
Yeah, and I was reading somewhere that some Americans, like, some huge percent of them, I'll have to get a source to get you the number, but pretty much most Americans have an attitude where the only way to become rich is to sue somebody.
I mean, don't sue us, guys. We're broke, so.
Yeah, you'll get nothing. You'll just bankrupt us, and then you won't have videos anymore.
But yeah, so anyways, everyone's gonna try to sue the company, and until the company knows for sure that they're not gonna be getting sued for every minor accident, then they're not gonna be making the cars. But once it's kind of the mainstream thing, once most of the cars are self-driving, because who wouldn't want a self-driving car? Like, of course, right now they have the option where you can turn it on and off.
Well, the thing is, right now, the way the law is when it's in self-driving mode, you have to be paying attention in case something happens. And that kind of defeats the whole purpose, especially because most mouth-breathing cuckwads are just going to turn it on and not pay attention. But again, for me, the thing is, like, I'm like the 10% that likes driving. So, like, I know that 90% of the population... 90% of the population would like a self-driving car. So, like, I get that. So I'm not going to be like, it should be illegal because I want to drive. So, like, it should be legal. Just don't make me, like, be regulated by law to get a self-driving car because then I'll just kill myself.
I think it probably won't happen in our lifetime. Like, have you seen the movie I, Robot? It's kind of an old Will Smith movie.
Yeah, I know that movie.
Yeah, because remember, he gets into an accident, and they're like, oh, well, why were you not in self-driving mode? And they're like, self-driving cars don't make the mistake. Like, there's no way.
Well, that's the other thing is, you just said traffic, and all traffic is caused by shitty drivers that hit their brakes way too often, and it just does a cascading effect. The next thing you know, you have a traffic jam. So with self-driving cars, I think traffic would essentially go away.
It probably would be. I mean, there's a lot of good videos on YouTube or just anywhere about how, like, you don't even need a lot of cars. You can have 3 cars going around in a loop, and eventually there's going to be traffic just because of, how people are driving. But, yeah, I mean, bottom line is right now, definitely not. But I think as the majority of cars are self-driven, they will take that away from us. Because if you think about it, I mean, kind of in the same concept, but not really with cell phones. It's like before you could take out your own battery, replace everything, but once they realize they can profit off, charging you for like every minor repair, buy, removable parts.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it'll definitely be slow. They're gonna lobby the government so that you have to buy their expensive self-driving car, and then eventually it'll get to the point where self-driving cars are better than real people, and that someone's gonna get in an accident, and the government's gonna be like, for your safety, we're going to make it so that you can only own a self-driving car. And that's like, in America, I feel like if they ever do that, so fucked up, because the government shouldn't have a right to tell you how to live your life.
I mean, kind of like whenever there's a big problem, like, with all the school shootings and all of that, that's, when there's like a problem, that's what pushes all of the regulations like that. That's what pushes them fast. Because, they're like, hey, look, because I don't know, millions of deaths are caused by accidents. So they're like, in 50 years, hey, there's millions. Well, not millions, maybe less. There's thousands of deaths because people are still driving. Let's just ban driving altogether. You can't drive at all. That's going to be illegal.
Dude, that's a fucking dystopia.
Will happen because self-driving cars are a lot safer. I mean, even right now.
Well, no, not right now. They still have to work the technology, but there was a bunch of people where the cars, when they get into construction zones, they can't follow the temporary lines and the way the road curves, and they've like crashed into barriers and shit.
That makes sense. But I mean, I think like with Google, just the normal, not like construction zone, just like normal driving, I think they said it had like no accidents at all. Like
I believe
from normal everyday driving and parking.
I mean, just think about the majority of like the cucks in America, like how stupid they are and like don't realize how dangerous driving is and just don't pay attention. Like I can't tell you how many times I've seen people whose side view mirrors aren't even configured to see anything.
Dude, people are bad at driving. Another thing is kind of, do you know all the captions, right? Like when you try to go on the website and it's like, oh, what looks like a stoplight, click on this, and I'm like, no. Like, you know that stuff, right?
Oh, you think it's machine teaching also?
Yeah. Like, I was going to ask, did you know that is actually what's, like, we're teaching the self-driving cars. That's what it all is. Yeah, so I watched a video a while ago, and I don't remember the exact of how it works, but basically what it does is it's like, here's 10 images, right? And it's like AI learning. They're basically like, here's 3 images. Like, so, for example, let's say, which of these images have fire hydrants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, we don't know what a fire hydrant is, but we know these 3 images are confirmed fire hydrants.
Mm-hmm.
So what they do is when you go on that CAPTCHA is, those 3, they already know that's right. But then the 4th one that the person selects, they're like, okay, that one's also right. And after like thousands and millions of times,
it knows how to tell it apart.
Yeah, eventually that 4th image, they know that is also a fire hydrant 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, right now we're teaching, that's why it's all car related. It's like, what's a stoplight? What's a crosswalk? So we're teaching those cars. Like we're basically doing all the dirty work for them.
But we don't even have a choice though. They won't even let you log into websites without that.
And I kind of hate that. I'm like, what do you guys think in the comments? What do you guys think about that? That we're kind of doing the dirty work for them instead of them paying people or, even us getting any benefit out of them. We're doing all of the work and they're going to be making millions, if not billions off of it. Like, what do the commenters think about all of that?
Oh, it's just the corporations having more rights than human beings again. Yo, so Citrus, I was wondering what you thought about the stock market during coronavirus right now. How your stocks are doing.
I think it definitely needs a cleanup, like this is what the stock market is right now. This is the situation. It's a bloody mess. The whole point is like it is going up and then, there's a lot of unemployment. Not to get into a political debate, honestly, like, it's good that it's going up. It's good for the economy because we can't let the economy fail. But at the same time, we can't just focus on the big corporation.
I know, but the problem with the recession like this is it's not the corporations who get fucked first. It's the small businesses that get fucked first. It'll take something, like, coronavirus will have to go on for so incredibly long before it affects the big businesses.
And what I've heard, did you get all the buckets out?
Yeah,
What
so we
I've
can finish
heard
that
is
room.
that a lot of the businesses, they've been actually buying back their stocks.
Oh, naturally. Instead of using the money.
Yeah, so they like go to the government. They're like, "Oh, hey, like we need money." And
yeah, and if you give us money, we'll keep these people employed.
Yeah, so if you guys aren't familiar with the stocks, how it works is, well, basically what a buyback is they're just like they buy back their own stocks.
Yeah, well, to explain what a stock is it's they call it shares, and each share is ownership of the company. So when they go public, they allow the people to buy parts of the company, literally pieces of it.
Well, and so the history behind that is back in the day, shares were actually a piece of paper. I mean, now everything's electronic, but back in the day, if you guys watch some like old shows, like Hell on Wheels or things like that take place in like Midwest, they actually have shares on a piece of paper, and that's what it was. So you actually, and you do own a share of a company. So, I mean, today companies have millions, if not billions, of shares. So you having one share doesn't mean you own 1%. You own like a trillion or whatever of a percent. And so what the companies have been doing is the government's, they're like, hey, we need money so we don't go bankrupt. So the government gives them the money, and then instead of actually doing anything with it, they just buy back the shares so they control more of the company. And of course, that's good for them because that means that they have more ownership, but at the same time, it's not really doing anything to help anyone but themselves out.
And meanwhile, small businesses are, I feel like the restaurant and bar scene is going to be forever fucking changed. It's never going to be the same again, if they can even survive this.
Oh yeah, they're definitely, you keep taking my buckets.
Well, I'm moving them back so we can keep mopping without making it worse.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, they're definitely, oh, you got it dirty. Yeah, you got a little wet spot right there.
Bucket's dirty.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely going to take a while to clean up, especially with the restaurants, because they're not going to be opening up for a while. They're going to be the last thing to open up. I mean, there are some local restaurants that are still doing delivery and they're still managing, but, definitely nowhere near the
Just like, let me move this bucket.
Oh, yep.
Thankfully for me, the stocks haven't, everything I owned hasn't gone down, which is very convenient. But the thing is, selfishly, since I have a government job, I know I'm secure, so I selfishly want everything to completely crash. Because the problem right now is the cost of everything has been keeping up with inflation, but nobody's wages have been keeping up with inflation. So businesses keep making more and more money, but we, the people, keep getting fucked, and we're not getting paid to keep up with how much everything's going back. And I think the only way to reset everything is a true depression, and it kind of blows because it's going to fuck a lot of people along the way, but it should improve the quality of life if it goes super downhill.
One of the things it's definitely going to do is make us rethink priorities, because a lot of people are living like a materialistic lifestyle.
Yeah, they buy a new car even though you shouldn't even buy a car that's more than 25% of your yearly wage, and a lot of people lease something that they can't even afford, and then this happens, got nothing saved up and can barely survive past 2 months without a paycheck.
Let me kind of change the topic, but not really, kind of on a side note. I don't know what class I learned this in, but so there is a big difference between what you can afford and what you can buy, in a way. Do you know the term? It's kind of like what you can afford and what you should afford, or something like that.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, what you can afford and what you should buy.
Yeah, so because the thing is, you can go, anyone can go and buy a brand new, Dodge Ram or Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, and make the payments super spread out so you can afford the monthly things.
Well, yeah, what they do is see, if you guys aren't too financially stable, first of all, go on Reddit and check out personal finance, tons of great tips and tons of beginner tips.
Dave Ramsey, I think, has a really good show, too.
Who?
Dave Ramsey. He's a financial guy.
Oh, okay, I heard about him, but I don't watch too much of that.
Yeah, I have a friend who listens to his podcast, and he gives me the Cliff Notes.
But anyways, so for example, let's say you work at Burger King, right? And you make what, like, let's say you're the manager. There you go. You got a promotion. You make what, 15, 16 bucks an hour if even. So you can buy a brand new car, and 200. Like if someone just came up to you and they're like, "Hey, I'll give you this brand new car for $200 a month," like 250. Anyone can afford that, and like anyone can spend that. But the problem is that 250, out of that 250 you're going to be paying like 180 or something. That's just going to be interest, because they're going to give you that car with a super high interest rate, so you're not actually paying anything off the balance. Yeah, you could make $200 a month payments, and like that might not even hinder your budget so much, but it's going to take you so long to pay the car back.
By the time you pay it off, it's worthless. Whoops.
Yeah, like you're gonna be paying it past the time it even works. 5 years time, you're gonna have to be fixing it. 10 years time, you're gonna be putting a lot of money in it. The car's gonna be worthless, but you're still gonna owe a huge amount on it. So
Yeah.
Definitely look at what the interest rate is, and definitely look at
And
what
do the
your,
math. Like, look at your monthly payment, how many months it is, and put it in a calculator, and you'll see how much the interest is. Like, your $25,000 car you're actually paying $30K, and you're giving the bank.
No, not even $30K, dude. You'd be paying more like $40K on something.
Oh yeah,
like
it depends. Because like if you go to a dealership, thankfully you can get like good rates. But if you go to like a private dealership to buy a used car, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you 6%," it's like that's like so bad. Anything more than that, like. Yeah,
I
that's
think they have to legally also state what the total amount is. But definitely, there's no point of having a new car. Like, you can buy a used car. One thing, you can go to like the auctions, and
well, there's that. And what Dave Ramsey even says is, when you buy a new car, there's a depreciation hit of like $5,000 as soon as you drive it off. So the reason you buy something lightly used with low miles is someone else took the depreciation hit, so you get a basically new car for way less.
Yeah, because as soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses money, and that's the thing. Yeah, you can buy a car, the exact same car with, let's say, like 5,000 miles on it, which is laughable. That's still a brand new car, and you will probably be able to get it for like 5 to 10 grand off. Of course, depends on the car and like if there's any damage. But definitely, there's no point of buying a brand new thing unless you're like balling, or like you can haggle them into a stupid deal. You don't really need a brand new car or anything like that.
Yeah, I went new because all the used cars for the one I was looking at were not that much cheaper than what I ended up getting with the deal.
Yeah, it also depends on the type of car too.
Yeah, and the dealership gave me a better loan than my bank did, so it's like, that's why I did it. And also, as a bit of an enthusiast, I had to buy a car with a stick shift so that new manufacturers build cars with stick shifts, because that keeps going away.
And you also have to pay more for a stick shift. It's like, or no, it's less, right?
No,
less
depends. It depends. It used to be less. That's why Europe has nothing but stick shifts. But these days, it's the same price. It usually is cheaper. Like if you buy a Porsche, the stick shift version's like $3,000 cheaper.
Oh, okay. And another thing is always haggle when you're making any purchase. But just kind of like a quick note, if it's anything over like $500 or $1,000, always try to get a better deal. I mean, of course, don't be like that douchebag where if it's like, the new item costs like $800 and this guy's getting rid of it for like 500. It's brand new. Don't be like, oh yeah, I'll give you like, $450 or whatever. But new cars. Always, new cars, used cars, always you want to haggle on that and get deals.
And also, when it comes to cars, don't be afraid to wrench on your car. Like oil changes, there's like, if you're decently smart, there's no reason you shouldn't do a lot of the basic maintenance on your car. A manual's like $50, basic tools will get you $200, and then you can do all this stuff for free.
And it's also it's good to know all that stuff, even for like, the house.
Mm-hmm.
Like learn some basic plumbing, learn some.
Don't be a sheep. Don't be a beta cuck. Just,
Well, don't learn basic electricity. You don't want to mess with that. But basic carpeting, just like painting, like fixing your drawers, things like that. That's always a handy skill. And well, like a contractor's like $100 an hour. Like if you just need something basic done.
YouTube's a good resource too. Anything you could ever want to know is on there.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think is a good important skill to have? Like, I don't know, just like a good household skill, I guess. Let us know what you think the podcast for our next video should be, like what the topic should be.
Peter, there's a second floor to this level.
Is there?
Yeah.
Where at?
Oof. I'm like trailing, aren't I? Over here.
Oh yeah, so guys, I'm gonna be making Half-Life videos. Oh my god. Alright, well, that's it for today, guys. It turns out we got another room full of mess here with a whole bunch of body parts.
Yeah, which we don't want to do right now.
Yeah, well, we're gonna do this on the second podcast. Let us know what you think about our topics. You know, feel free to comment. We'll reply to you guys.
Yeah, most importantly, let us know if you like this series, if y'all want to keep seeing podcasts.
Yep, and it's been a pleasure, you know, kind of recording this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I've been the CitrusBro, and
I'm Captain Riptide, signing off.